Welcome back to the third of the preliminary bouts. David Galvin just being introduced by the great Howard Lee. David from Alice Springs, and of course he's fighting Terry Dehaan from Lilydale in Melbourne, Australia.
Galvin in centering. When you welcome in the blue corner, he's a fellow Victorian from Langwarren, Terry Dehaan. Stepping in at the 11th hour.
Go to Howard Lee at the in centre ring. Introduce both fighters.
Welcome back to centre ring. About 3 hours, 7 minutes. Clockwork Services. Malcolm Goldman joining Mary Thompson, Fighters Factory Promotion. Their judges assigned Samantha Mulder, Alan McDonald, Matt Rupert. When the bell tolls, you man in charge of the action. Boxing, kickboxing is his go. Ignatius Mr. David. 8 rounds of interstate super welterweight boxing. With you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, red corner from the Alice Springs, Northern Territory, head coach Aaron Smith. Barossa Boxing. In professional boxing, 15 bouts, 5 wins, 3 draws, 1 Malay knockout. Don't be fooled, he's met some of the best light middleweight super welterweights in Australia. The reigning South Australian super welterweight champion at 69.45 kilograms, proudly wearing Indigenous colours of red, gold, white and black. They call him Wild Thing, David Galvin. And across the ring, the blue corner from Langwarren, boxer, kickboxer, head coach Nick Lightning Lund, super promoter, boxing, kickboxing. Stepping in at the 11th hour, 4 professional fights, 3 wins. He's studying fitness as a career path. At 68.40 kilograms, wearing a powder white trunks. When you welcome Terry Terrible Dehaan. Semi-main event.
Well, gentlemen, as both fighters touch gloves, get their final instructions. David Galvin, 34 years of age, has a pro record of 5 wins, 6 losses and 3 draws. But as Howard Lee suggested, he's been in with the best. He's actually a Muay Thai fighter as well. He's had 4 Muay Thai fights. Indigenous fella from Alice Springs is down here with his family. And Terry Dehaan, well schooled by Nick Lund from the Lilydale gym. Very energetic is Terry Dehaan.
Dehaan looks good there with hands up. Looks very relaxed.
And an interesting conversation with Dave Galvin pre-fight. All his family have come over to watch him fight. He was very deliberate, talked about the differences between this style and Muay Thai. Interesting gentleman.
got to take your hat off to Terry Dehaan. He took this fight at late notice, so that's a pretty hard thing to do.
He looks fit though, doesn't he? He looks super fit and ready to go.
And relaxed, which is a good sign.
He is super fit looking. He's really in good condition, isn't he?
8 3-minute rounds at middleweight. Galvin weighed in at 69.45 kilos and Terry Dehaan 68.4 kilos.
It's a decent right hand to the body.
Yeah.
By Dehaan.
They're just feeling each other out at the moment.
He's actually looking a little bit more deliberate, Dehaan. I've seen him in his previous couple of fights go hell for leather from the bell, so he's been quite deliberate
relaxed
now.
He's got his composure.
He has got 8 threes. Has he fought 8 threes before? I don't think so.
Don't think he has. But when Nick Lunn's a smart operator too, isn't he? So he's well schooled. Nick looks after his fighters, similar to Murray Thompson, Russell Wolfield. Defence first.
Exactly. Nick wouldn't have put him in if he wasn't ready. But they're just feeling each other out, which is standard for an 8-rounder.
Dehaan in the white shorts, and of course David Galvin with the Indigenous colours. Indigenous gentleman from Alice Springs.
I'd like to see Galvin's hands up a little bit more. Good slipping. Oh, a little bit low, that punch. Oh, good right hand.
Interesting insight. Frank Ropus, Galvin described boxing as a chess match before the fight. He described it being like a chess match. And you can actually see him thinking. He's working his way through, and you have to in an 8-round fight, don't you?
Yeah, well, he's definitely got good reflexes. That'll be his Aboriginal heritage coming out there. He's got magnificent reflexes. And he's got a bit of power too with it. And Terry, he's super fit and he's got a big heart and he's got a good work ethic too. And it can be like a chess game.
Well, they call it the sweet science, Frank. So it's not just stand there and hit each other. It's hit and don't be hit.
Well, Russell, call the first round for us. Who won the first round? Were you sitting on the fence?
I'd give it to Dehaan, just slightly.
Well, I know quite a few fighters that have got to great heights, and you wouldn't say they got there fighting with the sweet science.
True.
How would you describe your style, Frank?
Well, there was no sweet science there.
Brutal, I saw it.
They didn't call you sugar.
No.
For those, just a reminder, those I'm sitting next to, legendary Australian welterweight champion Frank Ropus. We'll talk about his, after this fight, his career. Now back to the fight. We're watching David Galvin in the dark red shorts, or the dark black and the red, and Terry Dehaan in the white trunks.
I'm impressed by Terry's composure.
Yeah.
In comparison to his previous fights that Russell hinted on before earlier.
He does look very composed. He's relaxed and not rushing into making mistakes.
And he's not phased.
No.
And undoubtedly David can fight.
Well, as I said before in the first round, he did describe it, Galvin, as a chess match, and it just seems to be that now. A little bit of a contrast to the previous fights we've seen.
Yeah, this is...
I don't think this is a chess match. Because Terry's in his face.
You compare the action we're seeing now to the non-stop Lewis Goodrich. I guess that's what I'm suggesting, Frank. It's just a little bit more deliberate, but I think, as Russell said, there's 8 rounds. Isn't it? It's a long way to go.
Well, it's not a chess match. It's a matter of throwing punches because the other guy's coming straight at him.
But that's where, if you were Galvin, you should just jab, move, just to unsettle Dehaan for a little while, and then you can start your work on him.
Yeah, well, David's got his hands around his waist.
Yeah.
He's undoubtedly got talent. He
Turn
looks
southpaw then.
He looks fit, but is he fit?
Round 2.
Well, unofficial scoring. We'll keep going to you with this, Russell, because you're very good at scoring fights, I've noticed. And let's have your scorecard so far.
Look, I'd give that one to Terry as well, slightly. He's more aggressive.
I think I like the pace, Frank Robus. I like the pace of this. This is more me, a bit slower.
Yeah, and it was a very hard round to score. Terribly hard round to score, but I must admit I like the way Terry's going about it, his composure that he's got. The other guy's got a touch more natural talent, and it's not phasing Terry. Terry just keeps going ahead, and he's pretty fit, Terry.
Round 3 of 8.
And
Galvin,
he's pacing himself.
Yeah, I noticed that, Frank. Just when he went up against the ropes there, he's just breathing easy. He's not pushing. I reckon we're going to see a really good end to this fight. He'll go hard.
Dave Galvin just looks to have stepped it up now.
He's got something left in the tank.
Yeah. I just hope he's not leaving too much, too late.
I honestly, stab in the dark here, but I don't think Calvin's as fit as he looks.
Yeah, he's blowing a bit.
And he's dropping his hands, and he's huffing and puffing.
Nick Lund,
Dehaan's putting the pressure on him.
Yeah. I'd say Nick Lund, the trainer, is very smart, and I would say he's just wearing Galvin down, and then they're going to open up, and you'll see the old Dehaan.
Yeah.
Well, Galvin's just hitting with 3 right hands, so Dehaan might be looking fit, but surely he can't sustain that.
But I wouldn't have him fighting any different a fight than what he's fighting. He's taking the fight to Galvin. If Galvin's not fit enough, he's going to find out. Whereas if he stays back off Galvin will go all night, and he's a good fighter.
Good combination by Galvin then. Terrific combination. Head, body.
Oh, wild. Haymaker. You can see how Galvin's very cautious with that jab.
Oh,
it was a good body punch there. Big right hand round body punch by Galvin.
Good left hook, Galvin.
Yeah, Dehaan's got to keep going up. He doesn't want to stay back.
He's starting to look tired there, Frank.
Yeah, he is. He is.
He's dropped quickly.
He has.
Those body shots have got to be telling, don't they?
And that's given Galvin a lot of confidence. I tell you what, this is turned around.
Yeah. as I said, he had to take the fight to Galvin. If he sits, Galvin's a little bit tired.
Well, I tell you, I'd give that round to Galvin, but what it does, Frank, you know yourself, when your opponent gets tired, it gives you a bit of confidence. And you're thinking, I could do something here. So,
referee Ignatius Misalidis gets the scorecards.
He's got his leg over that rope, and I have never seen that in all my years of boxing. I've never seen a fighter do that.
Why is he doing that? He's doing that for a reason.
He's got a groin problem, perhaps.
That it cuts the circulation. I wouldn't say that's a good thing. He is tired, this boy.
He's gone from chocolates to boiled lollies.
Look, that was a terrific round by Dave Galvin. The right hands and body shots were fantastic, and then maybe perhaps Terry Dehaan got very tired very quickly because he's being hit.
But you've got to remember, Dehaan did take this fight on short notice, and you don't know how fit he was.
All right.
It's very hard when you take one on short notice.
He's got some courage, Terry has. Like David Galvin can fight, and he got hit with quite a few punches, but he still kept going up.
Fourth round of 8 on a big night of boxing at the Croxton Park Hotel.
Oh, rolled his ankle then. Rolled his ankle.
Oh.
The science is just starting to go out of the bout a little bit.
But I can tell you, Galvin's moving up.
Pinpoint punches. He's very, very sharp with his punches.
His confidence level's shot up too.
Yeah. Terry's got to get his head down, and he's got to get his head down and hold his ground. Yeah, he's not fit at all, is he, Terry?
He's giving up a kilo in weight as well.
That was a bit low, that one.
Yeah, that was definitely low, wasn't it?
He has fought at welterweight before too, so he's coming up to middleweight. Russell, that's got to tell a little bit as well.
Well, was he planning to come to middleweight, or he just happened to be at middleweight when he took the fight?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Oh,
he's in a bit of trouble. Ignatius Misalidis.
His eyes, he's
calls
wobbly.
a stop to the bout. Dave Galvin, well, strategically fantastic fight. Started slowly, came on in that fourth round. A gracious winner as well. Goes over and see how Terry Dehaan is. David Galvin's family, I think he's got about 15 or 20 of his family have come from Alice Springs to watch. Very, very happy. He points to the family in the crowd. Terrific performance from the South Australian middleweight champion. Terry Dehaan looking a little bit sick in the corner, Russ.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I watched his eyes roll a little bit there in the, when the fight was stopped. Nothing had really happened, and when you said the word sick, it did look like he was sick, and he just didn't look right. That was strange.
But maybe you suggest, look, he's taken the bout on less than a week's notice.
Something's wrong with his leg. He's favouring his leg, and he hooked it over the ropes during the break, and he's just showing now that he was favouring it.
Remember, he rolled it, Frank, on the over here.
Oh, that's right.
But still, when he had it over the ropes, I've never seen that before.
We might go to Howard Lee in centre ring. Apparently, there is something wrong with his leg. We'll try and get a view on that. But gutsy performance by Terry Dehaan to take the fight on such late notice.
Yeah, he did roll it. He did a good job on it. I saw it when it happened.
How about 11 points for two warriors there?
Very disappointing.
Referee Ignatius was allowed to step in at 2 minutes 38 seconds of round 4. Your winner, red corner, South Australia's Northern Territories, David Galvin.
Well, we're only minutes away from the big one.
We'll talk to David Galvin and also Terry. David's nice to come from Victoria. The fight puts a pretty tough opposition here. You want to win, well done.
All the crowd. He took this on short notice.
Sharon, come up the centre ring. Sharon, come on, congratulate David. Yeah.
Come up.
She's gone, has she? Sharon, there.
Dave Galvin, a very, very happy fighter. He's trying to call his fighters up, and kids coming through. It has been a family affair. Of course, he's an orthodox fighter and a Muay Thai fighter. Loves the strategy of boxing, he said, and he most certainly had that then.
He's a humble bloke too. I think it's great that he acknowledged that Terry took that fight on short notice. So they could meet up another day, and we'll see what happens.
How about 3 cheers for the Galvin family, Evan? Evan? Good stuff.
Thank you to my coach, Aaron. Thank you so much.
Very humble guy is David Galvin. You love to see that, Russ. Come all the way from Alice Springs, can fight, and yeah, very modest gentleman, and did acknowledge Terry. It was a great effort on behalf of Terry.
Yeah.
And we're also going to draw the lucky winners of our major prize.